and even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's
always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
Now we're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Roll for hero.
All right, sorry, I was in the middle of doodling there. Ayo, and hello, everybody, for it is us, your weird, fun, cracked out uncles over here. For it is me, your weird uncle over at Ultra Comics, and of course, sitting right next to me is my beautifully bald-headed, big-bearded, lovable, and also claimed to be the world's sexiest man, Mr. Uncle Fish. Guys, I am so excited, and I should also state that I apologize for not having a video out for last week. There was just a lot of kind of things happening all over, a lot of moving parts on each of our lives. Mr. Fish was out on a very well-needed, but also a very, intensive vacation of sorts. I mean, we were just talking about that and whatnot. And I mean, the air conditioning in my home is officially fixed up as of right now. And speaking of finding and, homes and such, we are now, or at least the fiance and I are in the process of trying to apprehend a home. So let's hope we can, because, as much as I love my parents, I would like to not live with them while being married. But that is aside the point, guys. That is aside the point. Guys, I love Roll for Hero. This is my favorite show. This is like I look forward for Wednesdays because of this. But look, I've been yapping for way too long. Mr. Fish, how have you been doing? How's life been treating you? What's the hit happened that what's currently going down?
Man, I am glad to be back from my long-awaited vacation. This thing has been like 2 years in the making, and then when it gets here, I'm like, oh man, I got so much to do. I got books that got to get out. Oh, it's not the right time to go relax. But I ended up taking my work with me and doing a little bit of work in the mornings while everybody else was asleep, getting some pages inked of Alice Lost in Wonderland issue 3, which should hopefully, if everything's going right, I've only got like 5 or 6 pages left to ink, which shouldn't take long, except I've been doing podcasts and stuff all day. So hopefully everything will be done and ready to go to print at the end of the month and get shipped out. So it's back on track. Everything is going good. Glad to see everybody in the comments. So happy to be back. So happy we made it back.
Our little nieces and nephews popping on in, man. Can't wait to see what we're going to roll up today.
Oh, yeah. Howdy, Dad Pool. Absolutely.
Hey, howdy, hey. How are y'all doing today? This is so great.
We got such a great community in here. I'm really, really enjoying getting to know you guys and getting to hang out with you guys every week and come up with crazy stuff and see all the ideas you guys throw at us and the ideas you guys come up with. Some of them are still stuck in my head. Like the idea of, what was it? Cain or whatever being filled with the legion of demons, and each one like coming up as a different sort of power. And that has been stuck in the back of my head ever since. And I'm like, man, if it's not for the coming up with like 1,000 different designs, that would be so much fun to do.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's like Ben 10, but on demon mode. And at this point, it wouldn't be an actual thing. But also, like, for me personally, the one idea that will always stick for me as of this moment, because we've developed characters on this show, is the steampunk universe. Steam team. We got, Featherwind. We have, Shelbyville. And then we got Todd. And we have Ivan the Invulnerable. I mean, like, that is a fully developed steampunk world. And if I ever had the opportunity, like, if I wasn't working on the Unbeatables and some other potential, comics and other stories that I have in the current process, then, I mean, I would totally dive in on that. But, of course, I need Mr. Fish's overall method here.
Man.
Anyway.
There's so many ideas we've come up with on this show and behind the scenes, just chit-chatting, that I want to do so badly. But
straight up.
Then also, like, there's so much stuff that needs to get done, and I've already got series started that I've promised to get to certain points, and I got client work I got to do because, I got to pay the bills to keep the walls up on the house. And so,
Doggone Comics, by the way, thank you so much for reading the Unbeatables webtoons. The Unbeatables webtoons always updates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, posting 1 page or 3 pages every week on those exact days. And once those pages are all done or like once a chapter is complete, I'm actually going to do a whole compiled whole dedicated episode to having just that. So be on the lookout for when that does happen. Subscribe to that, by the way. And again, I'm also in the process of either revitalizing an old fantasy comic that I've been really wanting to work on. It's called Tales of Azodia. So if you guys checked out my webtoon, you guys know that you can actually check on the creator. And there's another little series there. Unfortunately, it only has like 4 pages, but I didn't really plan that one out. So that's aside the point, though. But anyways, I mean, I feel like there's something else. Listen, also, this is exactly what I wanted to mention. For those of you that really want to join in and want to hop in on the fun, grab some dice, get some pens and pencils and all your fun little creative tools. Heck, create this sucker on Hero Forge for all we know. And not only that, and of course, just bring in your imagination and your ability to create. And the one thing I've been loving about Roll for Hero is that this entire show, I say this in all my other videos. I even say it towards the end of the show that the art that we make here inspires all and hopefully inspires more. And for me, I love the fact that we were able to create such an impact to all of you guys out there. Hopefully, you'll be able to share this. And if you know somebody who enjoys all this stuff and would love to partake in rolling up some cracked out characters and everything, please. Pop them on over. We would love to see some cracked out ideas. And yes, Ben 10, it's demon
time.
My Lord, that's a more. Oh gosh, I wouldn't be surprised. There's so
That's
many
so scary.
and everything for that. But anyways, I think. Do you have all this stuff for like 2 weeks ago that we ended up drawing, or no?
Yes, it took me a second to find it, and I don't know if we ever did come up with names for them, but
I don't think so.
So I don't have names in the video preview for the verses.
Roll for Hero versus.
So the prompt that we ended up getting, where's my sketchbook? Because I know I have it in here somewhere.
I've got it written down here because I've started writing it down on paper like you, so I don't lose it. The setting was Alice Lost in Wonderland because I got to pick whatever I wanted, and we were failed experiments.
Mm-hmm.
That's where our powers differed. I got one major strength, one major power, and mine was strength. You got a couple, didn't you?
I got a couple. I got telekinesis, I got flight, and then I have energy projection. And then for our story, I think we have the similar thing of running away from either a mob or / like the creator or something like that. And then we have a weakness to an item, or at least that's probably what I got. I don't know about you.
I got my power comes from something else, which is where I got the yokai aspect with mine.
And as soon as you said yokai and like all that other kind of stuff, so obviously as you can see right over here, I have what is this like Kappa inspired, kind of a creature of sorts. So basically in my little head canon, because again, I want to kind of pick at it. And basically that session was just a whole deep dive into the world of Alice Lost in Wonderland. So, because again, it's like an interdimensional rift full of all these kind of crazy things. I mean, Mr. Fish, you've been describing how this entire world is like. So my description of this character is taking like the turtle Kappa, right? It's like this one common creature and whatnot that would actually have like a little pool of like water in its head. And for me, I like that idea of like him being a telekinetic and how like his brain would kind of float out and whatnot. And I decided to take it a step further by making him fly, by making his turtle shell like a ladybug opening or whatever. Like if you ever saw Ladybug, that was like one of the most gnarly concepts for it. And I actually liked how that kind of came out. And again, because it's all like post-apocalyptic-ish kind of, because there's nothing really consistent, technology is in and out, it's a really strange rift. So, and again, the energy projection could come from the fact that he has like, this telekinetic ability and he's able to project something like that. But this was what I more or less came up with using the Japanese, Kappa kind of creature, and then going off of that, making him fly with the ladybug-like wings. And he also has like these little shards in his headphones, which I would assume would come from like the Crystal City or the Emerald City, if that supposedly is like representation of like Oz, which might help amplify his telekinetic abilities or something like that. I mean, again, that's just more or less what I was able to kind of really, come up with that said description. I mean, I also sketched it out in my sketchbook too. And I did have a secondary idea of actually taking like a scarecrow and then giving him like actual raven wings and such so that he could fly.
Oh,
So had I not done the cap over here, I probably would have done this in the off chance. But I was like, it was hot in my house and I didn't have the ability. I was popping in and out. That was a
it was
whole.
hot. There was no AC. He was ready to be done.
I really was. Oh, so I'm like taking all proper precautionary measures. So of course, this is my character. If you guys have a name for him, please let us know. That'll be fantastic. But enough of this guy, Mr. Fish. Let's see what you created.
I came up with this character who still doesn't have a name yet, but I got one major power of strength. I got a sacred oath, and the power comes like my motivation was a sacred oath, and the power comes from something like a ghost or a symbiote or something like that. So, because this is my world of Alice, and I've already established that these interdimensional yokai creatures are a thing here, like Cheshire, I decided to bring in one, and the sacred oath aspect comes from her devoting herself to trying to befriend this thing and become one with this thing so that it will bless her with strength. And so she's kind of got this wrestler persona going on with these symbols all over her and her gear that represent this particular yokai. And as long as she keeps him happy and everything is balanced right, he will bless her with strength. But he could just as easily walk off in the middle of a fight or get distracted or get mad at something, like a cat, and just be like, no, I don't want to give you power today. And she would be absolutely helpless. And I love that idea of being so powerful, but you're at the whim of this other thing that you have to try and keep happy. But this other thing is also like another dimensional spiritual being that has motivations and stuff that you can't possibly understand, and
Every warlock player
do
playing
things
Dungeons
you
and
can't
Dragons.
do. And I love it. I love it.
So of
Deadpool
course
says,
these are very interesting, very fantastical kind of characters and whatnot. And also this was the first time where I didn't do like a symmetrical posing, at least for me on this one,
yeah.
because of again the conditions of my home.
Well,
Or
also you sketched a lot of it up in your sketchbook ahead of time instead of on the iPad too. So
that is true. Because
you
I've been
know,
trying to get back in on that again, trying to like get back into doing paper sketching. Because again, when you done digital stuff for such a long time, there are times where I accidentally zoom in on paper, and I'm like, that's not how that
oh
works.
man, the
Oh,
resolution in my sketchbook sucks.
I know. Ugh.
I keep trying to zoom and it just doesn't work. I don't see why people use it anymore. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just
0
not
out
that.
of 5 stars would not recommend, for a digital artist. I mean, come on. What do you think I am? A freaking primitive? Am I a monkey to you?
Yeah, I keep trying to upgrade these eyes, and it only helps so much. Man, I like being able to zoom in nice and big.
That's how it. Anyways, so with that out of the way and getting to show off these awesome characters and all this other kind of fun stuff, I mean, I think it kind of goes without saying. Everybody, grab your dice, grab your tool of drawing, grab your drawing tool of any kind, and the surface you're going to draw on. And I think it's about time that we begin the process of, the whole point of the show.
Alrighty, this time we have a whole new set of prompts that are working with 2 6-sided dice now, because your boy Esteban here decided to make it easier for everybody who's maybe not necessarily Dungeons and Dragons inclined. Maybe they don't have a bunch of fancy, crazy sided dice and whatnot like some of us have on hand. I accidentally just dumped like 600 all over the floor the other day. But for those who can get a hold of a Monopoly game or, Candyland or something and get some regular 6-sided dice. 2 dice will now get you, I believe it's 11 things. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it'll give you 11 options. It'll go from 2 to 12. So hopefully that will make it easier for some folks that don't have 10-sided dice. Super handy. And
This is true.
so
Now, unfortunately, I did not create a settings list. So would you like to use a settings list that you have previously made so we can kind of go off from there? Or should we let the chat decide whether or not we should have a setting? Because obviously, I think the chat has some pretty solid ideas. What do you guys think?
yeah, I say we leave it up to the chat personally, because the chat comes up with some crazy nonsense for
This is true. And we love crazy nonsense on this channel.
So
everybody
I'm
in chat,
thinking,
please
I'm
chuck out
thinking we want to
some.
see what the chat's going to come up with for the setting. So are we ready to roll up the origins? And what are we going to do today? We haven't even discussed this aspect. Are we going to do 2 heroes? Are we going to, one of us takes a hero and one of us takes a villain again? What are
This
we
is a
going
really good question, because it's like, I kind of like how we did it with the steampunk episode where I created Ivan, you created Todd, and like it was able to fit into the world to that extent. Because I also like the idea that when, you know, like we can create a hero, we can create a villain, and then, you know, that could revolve in that setting, and then also we can build from there. Again, had it not been for us, you know, creating steampunk heroes, you know, at first, we weren't able to develop the steampunk universe. And I mean,
that's a good idea. The suburbs. That's a funny idea. I like that.
Okay, hold up. So we have the suburbs. We're gonna need 2 more, and then we'll probably roll from there. All right. So we have the suburbs. I see the Jurassic era. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Getting to do like a primal or like some kind of a dinosaur adjacent type of thing or something like that.
1 hero and villain, but Western style. There's a cool idea.
Okay, that's a pretty nifty one. Smallville setting, rural.
Street level, Smallville setting. Okay. And like I said, we got brother and sister heroes. That could be interesting to see, like what happens in the family dynamic, you know.
And how that because then that would actually force us to learn how to like creating either traits or whether they're like adopted or not. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so we also see I also see apocalyptic from, you know, Dragon Gaming, so that's fun. All right, so Mr. Fish, what kind of, because the ones that stick out to me obviously was the suburbs, the Jurassic area, because I can English, which was
Jurassic
the suburbs, the Jurassic era, and then we either have like street level, and then we have apocalyptic.
Oh, Judge Dredd like world.
So it's like that's like a dystopian, like cyberpunk kind of setting and whatnot.
I'm really liking the like brother and sister aspect. I think that would be a lot of fun. And
I agree with that.
all of the settings that have been suggested are basically all like street level. I'm torn between like Smallville, like rural setting, but I kind of feel like Todd already did that. And the suburbs really stands out to me as really funny, off the wall, weird. And that could go anywhere, because you can get people that are like super crazy goth coming out of the suburbs, or like, you know, all kinds of different people come out of the suburbs.
Because it's a suburban neighborhood. There's a variety of people that can live in a household.
Yeah.
And there's so much that can kind of go on. Again, like my next door neighbors or neighbors across the street, I think one of them was a firefighter. And then we have like, you know, the other, like my next door neighbor is actually my freaking high school teacher. So it's like, you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of, or if anything, it's like an egg surprise toy machine. You know, you can put in a quarter, you'll see what you get, and you get what you get.
And honestly, like Artis Shepherd just said, honestly, Spider-Man is like a street level suburban character. Like he comes from the suburbs. Like that's
but it's just the suburbs in a city.
Yeah.
So see that is actually something interesting. Okay. So are we heading on strong into the realms of the suburbs here?
Yeah,
because I don't
think
feel like
so.
we're gonna
I
have
think
to
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a
All right.
suburban
Chat,
street
we were at
level.
your whim. We are trusting the process, so we are creating a character, or our characters are going to be from the suburbs. It's going to be a sibling dynamic. So now we get to figure out how these people get their powers.
A condo complex with the homeowners association being the villain.
Not the
Oh my
homeowners association. I live in
I would
Florida. We're
not
trying
be
to
able to
ban them.
survive under an HOA. I would die in rebellion.
Oh my lord!
Yeah,
Fourth wall.
great
Are they
ideas
named
coming
the
out. Okay,
suburbs character? That's funny.
so we're gonna roll for our origins now
So I'm gonna leave that
to
one to
see
you.
what we get.
I'm gonna leave that to you. Unless, okay, hold up. I feel like before you do, we should do a 50-50 roll here of whether or not our characters are related by blood or if they're like adopted to an extent, and that should dictate how we draw our other characters.
Okay. So all right, I'll let you roll for that one. High, they're adopted. Low, they're biological.
Okay. Because this can also determine so many other factors here. And we roll now, and we get numero cuatro. They are related.
Okay, and that's pretty low. So so we're absolutely related. Do we want to do like say maternal twins, like non-identical twins? Like we could do a brother and sister.
They
that
never
are twins?
really have. They don't have to be twins. I mean, who
No,
says that
I'm just saying, like, as low as that number was in the possible roll, I'm saying that's pretty far down on the related side. So, but yeah,
I mean, we could have probably done like a
idea
one
doing a brother and sister.
I feel
'cause
like
then we
one
can
or two
show.
could have been adopted. 3 or 4, they could have been like properly blood related siblings, but they look very, very different. 5 and 6, they're adopted. We could go off of that metric again if we want to re-roll for that.
Okay, now what was that again? Because that sounds more complicated.
All right, 1 and 2, right? First 2, they are blood. They are blood related. I think, right? Yes, 1 and 2, they are related. 3 and 4, they're still related, but they could be different ages and whatnot and all that stuff. Then we have 5 and 6, which they are completely like they're only living in the same house via either foster care, they were adopted, or.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
All right. So would you like to roll this one now? Since I kind of rolled the first half, you got to
I'll
get your
roll
rolls in. I'm holding you here, man.
We got 5. Okay, so
Ooh.
that puts it
at complete separate people.
Okay, hear me out. We don't even know what the situation is yet. But I'm thinking like, okay, I'm thinking we may skip the origins part here because I got an idea for an origin off of this. I'm thinking like, what if your character is like the biological kid of a parent group that has powers for whatever reason, like where our powers come from.
Okay.
Where your powers come from. And then my character was adopted into the family when, like my parents were killed or whatever, and I was raised there. So maybe I have powers from some other source that are similar, but like raised in your family. Or maybe I've tried to learn how to mimic y'all's powers with tech or something. Like, I think that would be interesting. Like, what would it be like to be like the outsider adopted into a family that all has this one thing going on? I think that would be really interesting.
That is actually so. Then would I then have to do the origin roll? So then that way that could dictate how your character would be influenced?
You roll for the origins, and we'll see like where your family got all this from. And
okay. We are getting interesting results here, people. By the way, the chat over here is going insane. Like y'all are popping off with some stellar ideas. Superhero foster home. I mean, I feel like that's Mr. Fish's overall livelihood right there. All right, but with that out of the way, we have an official that's going to be a numero nueve, being from a lost race.
Okay.
So that means that my family of, that my supposed super family is like the last like race of a titular kind of, either an ancient species.
Oh, that would be a really good reason to adopt in some stranger's kid, like
Because then you're not
people who
suspicious.
may not know, because of the crappy stuff the U.S. government did to Native American kids back in the day, it's now illegal for other families to foster Native American kids or to adopt them. So, like, when Native kids come into the foster care system, as a former foster parent, I might only have them for a few days before they go to a specialty home. And like, I couldn't adopt them if I wanted to legally because we adopted out so many kids to try and whitewash them. And, so it'd be a very similar thing. Like if we came from the lost race of, Atlantis or whatever, and somebody we didn't really know, they died and their kids left over. Well, we've got to take them in because we're the only ones that really understand what it's like to be an Atlantean living, on the surface or whatever. Like that's a beautiful idea. I freaking love that idea so much. Oh,
Okay.
I love this so much. This makes me so happy.
Okay, this is actually turning out really, really good. Guys, keep checking out your suggestions, by the way. I am loving how active y'all are. I mean, I think this might be the most hyped up like chat in all of Roll for Hero. Oh my god,
Okay.
these guys are going crazy. All right.
Now this time I said we both roll for our own on the power type.
I agree with those conditions here because this will also dictate my family's set of powers, and then this could dictate how you get your abilities either through us or through situations. 5, 2 minor powers.
Ooh, I got 2 major and 2 minor.
Oh, no. Would you look at
that? Y'all got a crazy powerful kid adopted into your family.
Or maybe you have developed those crazier powers, or they were latent or awakened abilities and whatnot. Maybe through a blood transfusion that was needed to happen because, I mean, the child was in danger of some kind. Maybe you were a family friend or something along the lines of that. Maybe, something like that kind of had to happen. Like, who knows? As like maybe like the way that I'm thinking about it, like off the cuff here, like I'm thinking about automatically your character was probably was part of a family that was family friends with my character's overall family. Something happened to the parents.
Knew each other anyway, because like when you are the last of the race, we would have to at least be keeping tabs, knowing where each other was, knowing even if it was just a nod on the street as we went by, being
exactly.
Yeah, you're one of mine. Ooh. I know what you're going through, kind of thing.
So there's R.S. Shepard saying crash aliens mixed with humans in the 1980s, or powers are tied to an extra dimensional energy source they can tap into. Okay, cool. Not bad. And then we have Commander Comics saying, or a villain that's a suit that was made as advanced suit like Ultron, and the body snatchers had a baby with the costume of a superhero or a fallen sidekick. Okay, that and second cousins. I'm not gonna count that roll because I wasn't ready for that. Anyways, so the next roll is, listen, now not counting it.
Major powers.
Now we're going for major powers. So for me, I have that. This is on you, not really for me, because I apparently right. I can't have major powers. So apparently I'm.
Let's see. Okay, I got a 9, which is telekinesis.
Ooh.
And
there's a lot going on up in here.
Man, what is up with you, Blue? Come on. And I got a 5 for elemental control.
This is the episode where I get rid of elemental control. That's it. We're done with elemental control.
There are so many things on this list, and we keep getting elemental control.
What is the world trying to tell us?
And now for 2 minor powers,
which I can apprehend because that's my whole thing.
I'm going to get a different gun.
For me, that is going to be a numero quattro, energy projection.
I got 9 for change density.
All right, and now it is time for the secondary power. That is going to be a number ocho, number 8, which is. Did I say that correctly, or was I going insane? Because it says side change or something like that. I think I meant
It
something
says
else.
side change. I don't know what that means.
Says side change. I was trying to base it off of some of your. Oh wait, hold on a second. What? I have the list over here. Thankfully, I wrote them in the book, so I'm not going completely cuckoo. Well, I'm not you here. Anyways, what was that? There's minor powers over here. Change size.
Size changing. Okay.
Change. So energy projection and size changing.
Absolutely. Anything that you post online and tag with hashtag roll for hero, we can look up and see, which is part of the reason that we started using that hashtag because nobody else is using it for whatever reason, which really surprised me. But yeah, roll number 4 hero, put that as a hashtag and post it, and it'll make it real easy for us to look up and find.
Hashtag ROLL, the number 4, and HERO. Use that hashtag so that way we can see the amazing and awesome art pieces you guys get to create, and we will show it off here on our show and for other future, episodes later down the road. Anyways, outside of that, I have my 2 minor powers and whatnot. So we have so hold on a second, because I also forgot I had to write suburban area.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So we have a suburban setting. And for my character, our origins are basically, beings from a lost race, and they gave me 2 minor powers. And for me, it's energy projection and size changing abilities and whatnot. And now we get to the fun part, the optional modifiers. These are usually the make or breaks for these episodes because they'll either give some of the best ideas or they would give out the worst debuff of all time. So without further ado, that is going to be number 7, which is powers only activate by oath, charm, etc. Ooh.
I got number 9. Powers only work at day or night.
Ooh. I feel like we should probably change that to powers are most active at, and then day or night. I feel like that would have been more, interesting.
Oh, I just had a thought.
Uh-huh.
What if we did it to where one of our powers only works at day and the other one only works at night?
Oh, so I'm instantly thinking sun and moon dynamics over here.
Yeah.
Off rip, I'm just thinking sun and moon. So if yours only works by either a day or night, but then here's the thing, mines operate off of an oath or some kind of a charm or something of that caliber. It has to have some kind of an activation to it. Something has to activate that power. And if that power happens to be either sunlight or moonlight or...
I'm kind of liking the idea. Oh man, who was it that said it? I'm trying to find it in the comments now.
Dark matter energy. It's pretty good.
R.S. Shepard. What if we are the descendants of aliens that came down hundreds or thousands of years ago, but say one of our family lines came from the light side of the planet and the other side came from the dark side of the planet. So maybe my family's lineage, our powers work better at night, where yours are more powered by the sun and the brightness and whatnot. And that would be we're still outsiders and we're still from the same world, but we're also outsiders from each other. On our own world, we wouldn't have really mixed, and now we're shoved together into the same family and having to grow up together when we wouldn't have naturally been together. We both would have been outsiders on this world, but you know, that brings in so many cool. This is a
Oh,
freaking book right here that needs to be done.
and
You
again,
know,
this is the annoying part about Roll for Hero. It's the fact that like we can cut like as it is. Just to give context here, a piece of plastic with little dots on it dictated weird character dynamics, and our weird whacked out imaginations came up with this insanity. Just giving context here, people. There is no such thing as uncreative people. We let dice dictate what on God's green earth we are going to create. And I'm going to tell you this now. This is very interesting. This is a really, really interesting dynamic. So we are essentially two aliens crashing on Earth. At this point, it sounds like that. Like we're two different aliens that crash on Earth. Maybe there was like, so wait, so then does this mean that are we like descendants of a half human, half alien type situation? Or do we happen to have a longer lifespan that would actually allow us to live?
I think there has probably been some interbreeding over the years, and I think that would be a cool aspect if maybe like maybe your family is a little more human than my family, and I stand out a little bit more because of that, and makes me seem a little more off, and y'all are still trying to play it off as like I'm a second cousin or something that y'all have adopted in, even though I don't look alike.
This is explaining as to why you have more major powers in comparison to our family dynamic, which only has smaller.
Yeah. Oh, see, and then that all works together and makes the dice make sense.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah, I'm loving that.
Okay, so now because I automatically thought of the sun and moon dynamic as part of our little character dynamics, and then we have motivation. This is where I thought the modifiers was actually going to be the thing that screws us over, but at this point it just might be the motivations here.
It could be because we don't come from the same family, so we don't necessarily have the same motivation.
Oh my god! So dang, this is gonna be crazy. All right. Whoa, no, rogue dice.
Ooh.
This one. All right, hold up. What the heck? All right, we're gonna try that again. All right, so now I see having this piece was actually vital in my Lego thing over here. All right. Definitive is 7, an adventure seeker.
And I got number 5, vengeance. But also, like, having lost my family, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, that's so true.
Oh, and oh my God, and that would bring in such a cool dynamic. Like, if your family has intermingled more with the humans and are more comfortable with them, and then like say my family got found out and killed by humans, it would give me like a real reason to hate them, and you're like, oh, can't we all get along? And I'm like, but we're not the same. And oh, that would make for such a dynamic. But
it
still
does.
like,
and now I'm trying to question whether or not, like, because again, my first thought it was the sun and moon. So I can't tell if like your character should be based off the sun because of how more powerful the sun truly is and how more power you can get from that. And then like from the moon dynamic and us being, like probably we're from the darker side. And maybe because we were able to kind of like coexist or habitate or I don't know, something along the lines of that. And I don't know. I'm thinking here. I'm just trying to think out loud. I don't think that's a solid plan. I mean, again, I think sun and moon, we can also think of different, you have elemental control, right? As like one of your powers.
Yeah, I got elemental control, change density, acrobatics, and telekinesis. I kind of like the moon aspect myself. I like it.
Okay, so you're a moon based. Actually, someone here, R.S. Shepard again, kind of put it here. It said Solarium and Moon Shadow. I'm assuming those are like pretty nifty little names there.
Oh yeah.
For like I guess the name and the concepts there. For Rodrigo, we have not seen Peacemaker season 2 yet, or at least I haven't because I don't have HBO or anything like that. I wish Deadpool was in Peacemaker season 2. We all wish that. Maybe the different phases of the moon determine the size change. Ooh, see, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But also that could tie into more or less like, okay, so if my characters are more based on the sun, right? Maybe because we have intermingled with humans for such a very long time, humans have the ability to adapt the sun because we need, nutrients and, the light of the sun to give us said nutrients, right? What if it was able to give me or give my character that radiant ability of energy projection? Or maybe he uses like that radiant like ability and he uses it to change his size. So then that way he's always like, oh, creating like a light form or something like that. That
Oh
would
yeah.
actually amplify in size. Ooh.
And see, and I like the idea of the telekinesis and the elemental control. I like the idea of that working together with the moon being something that's orbiting the planet, and maybe making the elemental control be like stone, and like be able to make things move around and spin, and in a
Or
orbit
because
like
you also happen
fashion.
to have, you're also one of your powers is density, right? Like changing the density
Yeah,
of
I can
something.
change density too. Yeah.
Maybe the rocks or the stone, maybe you can kind of shift the density of your body, making you heavier or potentially lighter.
Hmm.
So we can kind of work off. You could probably work off of that metric
And
over
like
there.
I love the idea of me being able to like go intangible and stuff with my density while you're getting bigger and bigger, with your power. Like it's like a yin and yang almost. Like it's like opposite ends of the coin. Like I can change this while you can change that. I'm really digging the idea.
Okay, so then this really has to okay, so then now the question is, what do we look like?
Hmm.
Because
That's the
again,
thing.
we're two completely different. Well, we are like same race, but
But
on
we
a
also come from the suburbs, so we have to be able. We can't be too far off because we got to
yeah.
be able to blend in.
So this is
So
actually
enough
forcing
to
you
be in
having
the
to draw
suburbs.
normal people again.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly normal, but you know,
You know, I think could be
within
interesting as
reason.
well. Maybe like changing the density of your skin as well, making it more harder or in different tone. Maybe like the blood, like the color of the blood might actually pop out if the density of your body has hardened or maybe it lightens or something like that. This could be an interesting factor. This could be an interesting factor. So the question is, what is it that we look like? So obviously, there has been intermingling. So I would assume that even
Oh,
with
and the day or night, like I could see where like I would look I could look much more human during the day than I can at night. Like once the darkness comes out and the moon rises, I'm going to look alien one way or another. Like that would be a really cool limitation there, where like you've only got till sundown to be able to blend in, and
wait a
then you've
minute,
either
wait a minute.
got to.
Dragon Gaming had the one's a goth and the other's a jock.
Yeah, I totally dig that idea. I totally dig that
Oh,
idea.
wait. Okay, wait. Hold up. Ready, ready, ready. We subvert this expectation by having the jock be the sister and the goth being the brother. Because usually it would always be, like the jock. I'm like the big, strong guy. But it's
Hmm.
the switching of it. Because, there are obviously goth dudes, goth girls, and everyone else between. But then it's like, that could be interesting. Having like gothic, moon looking kind of guy. Then you have a jock like muscular bound woman, or like a teenage girl or something like that. You know, not far off from the realms of possibility.
Yeah, yeah. I was digging the idea of doing a girl, but I mean,
Now you
that's
can
a
do
pretty
that.
fun idea.
Now listen, I'm just chucking ideas out there. Again, I'm just
Oh
throwing
yeah,
spaghetti walls, seeing what sticks. I mean, who
yeah,
said they had to be brother or sister? What if they were both sisters? What if they were both brothers? What if one was a brother, one
yeah.
was a sister?
That was something else I was thinking of. Like if we made them both sisters, then you could tap into a little bit of the mean girl stuff and a little bit of the
The
oh,
social,
you
because
can't
again, it's the
sit with
suburbs,
me,
that gossip.
and yeah, and throw in all that nonsense too. But still, like you can only take that so far because she's still on my team. Like I can pick on her, but you can't pick on her. Kind of
Yeah.
thing. You
Weirdly
know.
enough, I have two sisters, so this could like this is I can weirdly understand the dynamic here. But they
Yeah.
actually love each other. Not every sister hates each other or anything like that. So I mean, because they've been so chill for their whole life. They're attending the same college together. Shout out to my sisters Joelle and Halas. I hope you're all doing good. Anyways, 40-minute mark of that, just to shout them out. But we love them all dearly. But yeah, so this is interesting because I love the goth and jock concept. 100%. I'm going off of that and that alone. I would like to go off of that. I don't know about you, Mr. Fick. You probably might have a different idea.
Oh, I think it's fun. I like the idea of doing two sisters. I think that's a whole lot of fun.
Or maybe it could be like we do two sisters, but again, to subvert it even more, you would have the more muscular goth sister, and then you have the scrawny, like athletic one, or I don't know, just to kind of toss it again to subvert the jock and goth aesthetic of those characters and whatnot. All right, let me actually show off my screen here because I know I have the ability.
And I got acrobatics, which could definitely be more muscular if we wanted to do it that way.
I mean, again, I'm just chucking ideas out there. You do what you do best, and I'm going to figure out how to. Okay, but then not only that, they're supposedly they're ancient aliens from eons ago at this point. So then we got to figure out the related aspect of them. What could be a relatable factor of these kind of characters here? Like, what is the thing that actually keeps them? Like, what is the thing that relates them?
Like, what aspect is going to make them look alien without looking too alien or be, hideable?
Something that could be hidden.
Like my first thought is like pointed ears, like Spock and the Wonder Twins. Like they don't look that different other than the ears.
Okay. Wait. I'm digging the concept. I'm digging the concept because I like the idea that maybe they're like ancient. Maybe we could say that the aliens pop, like instead of maybe the 1800s, maybe they popped in on a primal like Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, maybe this could give the reasoning to an extent as why humans evolved to an extent. Or I'm probably far reaching on that one. But again, like I like the pointed ears. I guess I like the idea of like fangs and eyes having different altered colors and whatnot, which could play an effect to their overall design.
That's a good idea because that would be easy enough to right away of like, oh, your eyes are such a beautiful purple. Like, how did you do that? And
you're gonna be like, well, they're contacts. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And not realize that, her eyes are just purple.
Okay, so now we get to the part where we try to yap while we draw. Gotta love this segment of the show.
Indeed.
Quiet and dear biscuits.
Top of my head and lots of quiet time.
Oh yeah, there. And I feel like this is a part where we should probably play some royalty-free music just so we can keep, the silence.
We've got let's see. Music.
Okay.
Let's see.
Actually, real quick, I'm gonna ask the chat a couple questions here. If I can apprehend to the shit. All right. So real quick, guys. Yeah, sorry. I know. Sorry about the screen being weird. Don't look at the screen. You guys don't let me ask it. What kind of colored hair should my character have? Something that could be plausible, but also a little whacked out and weird.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Right there. Is the gravity powers explaining the telekinesis and the density and everything. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, let me see if I can start actually getting to the drawing proper. Come on, man. How dare I? All right. Well, let me see, because my character has energy projection and can change size. Okay.
One's early bird, the other's night owl.
Okay, but that's actually a really cool team dynamic. I love that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm early bird and I'm night owl. And like they're like a cutesy like sister duo. Oh, that is actually adorable.
Or like, I'm early bird and I'm night owl. Like, oh, why did you have to pick these names?
It's so lame. It's like they're so lame. You think they're lame. I see them as marketable and catchy. Is this episode an excuse for me to sound like a standard run-of-the-mill white chick in the middle of October? Potentially.
Oh, now that's got me thinking about birds and like
Owls and
Bird
or like
like.
ravens.
bird-like accents and stuff.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Ooh. Okay. Like hairstyles could be revolved around a particular kind of bird.
Yeah.
Like there's a specific type of owl, and they have like a little, thing on it. I forgot which type of owl that one
Have
was.
the horn feathers on the top of their heads. Yeah.
Yes, and you can kind of play it off as like a cutesy little hairstyle, or because again, she's like a goth. That could be like a whole like aesthetic or a vibe to an extent, which could be very interesting. So you can kind of play off of that notion there.
Oh, that's what the problem is. Post correction set way too high.
So we can kind of do that. Ooh, the bird aesthetic is not bad. But then what other kind of birds are there? I mean, you got owls, you got ravens, you got vultures, which are even crazier.
Sparrows and finches and all the little bright colored little things.
Or a canary. That's always a fun one. But that's DC Comics, and I don't want to get into legalistic trouble with them.
You're a coward. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, it's not like I risked making knockoff public domain superheroes and stuff like that happen to just be basic knockoff of the characters of what Marvel and DC happen to have. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Nobody asked for it. There we go. Okay, so we have at least something here.
So I'm thinking maybe big eyes.
Ooh, okay, but your characters having bigger eyes would make a lot more sense. So, because again, that's probably more in the owl aesthetic, but having bigger eyes in comparison to most normal people, because there are people with very big eyes, some with smaller eyes. Ooh, okay, so what if they're like an ancient race of like bird people?
Yeah,
like
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
and then, but hear me out on this. They happen to have the bird-like legs that they have to like hide away wearing longer pants or like skirts or something like that. So then that way their legs are always being hidden because it has like they're like the equivalent of like bird-like legs.
That would be pretty easy to spot, I would think.
Well, it depends because there are people with different body sizes and different ways of living, and again, the different clothing alone that could prove a lot of things. But I mean, because I remember drawing at some point, I remember drawing a lot of like bird people for some like D&D campaigns and whatnot. And the way that I would go about it is like, if you can see it on my screen here, where it's like this like up to here, like midway into their shin. This is like where the like moving down. This is where the bird part would kind of start, and they would have like their typical little bird feet like this, and they could still relatively hide it away, and like maybe they can use like stockings or some type of longer socks to kind of hide it, and it just meets the threshold to do that.
Or like tall boots and stuff.
Exactly. But then why is your character athletic? What do they do as a form of athletic feat that grants them the ability to do this? Is it instinctual? Is it, part of, your biology? Or was it a hobby that they picked up? Did they pick up parkour as a hobby? Because I know my brother did. He was a gymnast.
Could definitely see parkour and like night running being something that she would pick up as a way to cut loose and be free for a little bit at night when her powers are stronger anyway, and like nobody can really see her so much as she's running around and be able to be free, jumping and diving and flipping over things. And using her telekinesis and all that stuff, changed instant, using those powers to be able to flip and float over things and run and jump and dive and I could see that as something she would really enjoy doing as a way to be free in a world where she has to remain hidden most of the time.
Hmm.
That is absolutely what I would do.
I don't know why I instantly thought of Bald Eagle for mine. All right. So I mean, I kind of got something going on here. I mean, if anything, what bird should I base my character off of here? Chat. What kind of bird do y'all think I should base my little character off of? Golden Eagle and the Great Horned Owl. That's a pretty good dynamic there. Are we actually going with the taloned like feet design aspect?
I am anyway. I if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So
I mean, whatever, you got to get your kicks on at least adding some mutated aspect of their design.
yeah, I like it, and I'm thinking maybe as the night gets darker, her nails become more claws, and like it's a lot harder for her to hide her bird like
So it's almost like lycanthropy, except on a bird
Yeah.
scale instead of wolf scale.
Mhm.
Interesting. Also, hummingbird. Ooh, that one's an interesting one. A hummingbird? That's an interesting one. I feel like it's more of a reminds me of when Stanley decided to write the Flash. Like when Stanley did a whole bunch of runs making DC characters, he ended up making the Flash like this girl who got her speed abilities from hummingbird DNA.
The Wizard.
Okay.
That's
Actually, so then I didn't even ask, like, well, what is the age of these sisters?
I don't know. What
Are
do
they
we want
college
to do?
age, high school? I mean, they live in suburbia, so I'm assuming they're like maybe college students coming back for a summer break, but then all of a sudden crime starts popping out of nowhere, and the town starts to gossip of situations happenings.
I would think, I probably got adopted into the family. I would say probably 13, 14. So it was a really difficult time anyway. And to make it hard, just to make everything more difficult, just to make everything harder. If you came in at that hormonal time and everything's already so tough and such a big deal, and then you've lost everything and you have to start over with a bunch of weirdos that don't look like you and, don't do things the way your family did them. And I think that would be a really fun dynamic. But then that gives them time to still go through the hardest parts of like high school and stuff together and be forged into a bond together. It's us against the world. And now maybe they're in college trying to, spread their wings, find out who they are, trying to make a difference in the world and stuff. Yeah.
So in this case, they're college aged at this point as we're drawing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. A little joke amongst these sisters is like, oh my gosh, look at them in their normal feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so my character has energy projection and size change. That's something else I have to take into consideration because I'm assuming these people. Well, I mean, my character can't fly, and not only that, are we designing them as heroes or as like rebellious type of superpowered teens or young adults?
Well, I'm out for vengeance, and you were what, out for adventure?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I say, like, you're looking for adventure and looking, for excitement, and you're out of your parents' control for a little while, and you want to stretch the boundaries and like let your freak flag fly a little bit and see what you can do, expressing your powers and stuff. And, like try out the super adventure gig for a bit while your parents aren't there to, try and grab you and hide you and say, no, 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 hide yourself and, blend in and don't stand out so that you don't get hurt. And
I mean, would they
I,
really tell me that in particular? Because we happen to be the same species.
well, yeah, but like as a parent, if I was living in a foreign world where everybody was out to get us, but we could kind of blend in and hide, I would be, hey, you need to blend in and hide. Don't do the thing that makes you stand out. But also, that's like who you are. That's like what you're designed to be. And, to not
Mm.
to not do that would be hard. And so like I could see you wanting to go on an adventure and me maybe going along for the ride, maybe doing some of my own thing, and but really like I'm looking to find out, like, get back at who killed my parents and whatnot.
Ooh, maybe it turns out that the person that took out your family was somebody who within our college campus, or maybe it might have been a potential professor. And that actually gives you the reason to want to go to college, because it's like, hey, look, if we really want to blend in, we really got to like ingrain ourselves in human society. Don't you think so, Dad? Don't you think so, Mom? And then they're like,
Mhm.
well, you're not wrong. I mean, it kind of makes sense if we want to fully integrate ourselves and to not raise any level of suspicion. I think, of course, this would make the perfect amount of sense. Little do they know your secret intention is to lay vengeance upon the one that has potentially slain your family.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
Or,
kakapo is a nocturnal flightless bird, says Dadpool.
ooh,
And let's see. Commander Comic says, so your character is cheery and seeks the thrill of the hero's life of adventure, and yours is seeking vengeance of the people who scarred you emotionally and tore everything from you. Exactly.
but
And
then
and Jordan says, I didn't mean for them to be birds. Hey,
well,
man,
too
you
bad.
spawned a cool idea, dude. Like, what are we gonna do? Oh, R.S. Shepard suggests with like the whole like light projection aspect of
Mhm.
maybe being able to fly on solid light wings as part of the energy projection thing. That could be cool.
I don't know why I went with the short hair on this one and like having a little.
But like, I also like the idea of the dynamic of maybe like your sister thinking like, come on, let's go on this adventure, let's have this fun, and not realizing just how hurt the other sister still is and how much she still wants vengeance. Like thinking you've got to be better now. Like, aren't you over it? That was a while ago. Can't we just go out and have fun? Why not even thinking of how hurt you could be still from this great
Mhm.
tragedy, you know? And it all's because of the homeowners association.
It turns out the villain is actually a woman by the name of Karen, right? Like, again, complete cosmic coincidence. There is a lady named Karen who happens to be, the leader of the homeowners, probably the president, or who owns the concept of the homeowners association, who's actually trying to keep everything on the down low. And when aliens were heard to be rumored around, she kind of had some suspects. Your family in particular had the most alien-like quality to them, given how they had a bit of a gothic aesthetic or a gothic tone to them. And I mean, let's be honest, Halloween comes around, they get to kind of let their freak out a little bit, so to say. So she had to shut that down. An actual government agent who's actually a part of the homeowners association. I mean, there's motive.
Oh my god, that would be the perfect to find out that the Karen involved is like a CIA operative and is freaking, and like she only found out because she was like monitoring your phone calls and stuff to try and make sure you weren't planning any pool parties or anything that were going to violate any codes, and then actually finds out that you're aliens. And
Don't you just love how these things just come together?
Oh, absolutely, Jordan. I totally get what you were going for, but
I mean, too
you
bad,
give
so
us
sad.
an idea. We have free reign to take a hard left turn with that idea. Okay, now costume ideas.
That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking, like, are they the kind of heroes where they would just kind of keep their average everyday clothes on and you would just recognize them for their face and who they are? Or are they going to wear actual spandex tights? Or are they going to wear something in between, like tactical gear? Because this is set in suburbia, I would assume they wouldn't necessarily have the funds, per se, to have a full-blown superhero costume, like wearing spandex or tights. And Lord knows your character is not really up for that kind of concept. Or maybe they are.
I'm thinking like it would have to be something that we could put together with like stuff we got from Goodwill or the mall, or like stuff we could pick up around, belts and outfits, things that we made ourselves, something to try and hide our identity a little bit, because like your character wouldn't want her sorority sisters recognizing her when she's going out during the day trying to use her powers and save the day. And I would want to blend in more at night and not have people recognize me as I'm running around parkouring off of everything.
I can totally see your character definitely wearing like some kind of some like unique glasses or some visor of some kind. Like I can totally see that being a thing.
Yeah. My only thing is I've done that on like the last two characters.
You're right, especially with the Eagle character, especially with the American Eagle
and
design.
The character had like snake fang visor. So that's because I would like my first thought is to go into that beak visor thing again, because it really plays up that bird aesthetic. Oh my god, these would be interesting characters to come across in that world.
Oh, in the cyberpunk universe?
That would be really interesting characters to come across in there. Just saying.
And not only that, okay, you know what? That's it. We're chucking these bird characters. We're putting them in that cyberpunk universe, right? Here's what happens. They meet. I forgot how you ended up putting it in the. I forgot how you spelled it. What was it?
I spelled it in Spanish, and I can't pronounce it without.
As a biological Hispanic who can barely speak Spanish, I can actually register that name there. It's got to find the image. I'm actually coming across it quite. So there we go. Yeah, because I can totally read that.
Yep.
Aguila.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it.
Well, because I'm also Hispanic, I can relatively get away with that. I mean, relatively. Again, I'm a Hispanic that doesn't speak Spanish, and I'm already a bit of a disgrace to the family. So then I like the idea that
you're a Hispanic young man who could get away with at least bastardizing it. This paper white old man is not going to bastardize that Spanish word, and no, I'm not doing that.
Honestly, you probably wouldn't. I mean, my family has an honorary like white family member. He lives in I believe he's still in Georgia. Shout out to Tim out there if you're watching this. How you doing? Good buddy, good friend of my older brother. He was a college friend, and then now he was like so integrated in our lives. It's like, yeah, that's our registered white guy. So I mean, it is what it is.
Everybody gotta have one.
You gotta have at least one registered white guy, one registered Hispanic friend, and one black friend. So that way you can get at least away with some crime in some neighborhood. If you're not doing that, I mean, are you doing life correctly? That's my opinion. Nobody asked for. I do not condone violence, by the way. For legality reasons, these are jokes.
That's one thing, honestly, that really started to bug me, and I started to notice a lot, was people befriending me, especially when my Tourette's used to be much more obvious than it tends to be now. And a lot of the time now, I'm on these podcasts and I'm drawing and I'm talking and stuff, and that keeps enough dopamine flowing that my brain doesn't short circuit as much, and I don't have as obvious a tics that you can see while we're on stream much. But when it was really bad and I looked like I was having a seizure all the time, there were a lot of people that would suddenly want to be my friend and like invite me over to get-togethers and stuff. And then I would very quickly realize they only wanted me around to be their friend with Tourette's, so they could be like, yeah, here's Bob, my gay friend, and here's Larry, my black friend, and here's Fish over here. He's my disabled friend. And, like they just wanted to show how eclectic they were and, how cool they were to have all these different friends. And I'm not here to meet a quota for you, but that just really came off as slimy to me, and I did not like it. And those people also usually ended up being the kind of people that would like be more than happy to set me off ticking to put on a show for their friends, to like if they knew a certain word or something, they'd heard me ticking that earlier, they would try and trigger that tick in me. And to them, it's just a party trick and they don't think anything about it. But I came to describe it to people as like, imagine if I had a special little button that I could hit and would make you pee your pants. You're not really hurt. You're embarrassed. We all get a good laugh at you. You go off and dry off, change your clothes. You're fine. You're not really damaged. It's all in good fun. What are you mad about? And, and we're at the middle of the party and I buzz it and we all get a good laugh and you go clean yourself up. Then you come back out and then I hit it again and we all laugh. What are you mad about? You're being a bad sport. But you don't realize on the outside that while it's fun for you, it's painful for me. And once you hit that button a few times, it's going to just keep randomly going off in my life at random times, potentially for the next month, or it could become permanent, like some of my ticks have become. And then it's going off in line at the bank. It's going off, when I'm, trying to tuck my kids into bed. It's not funny anymore. And it's not funny to start with. Like if I say something stupid and yell something out stupid, it is perfectly fine and okay to laugh at that. I'm going to laugh at it, but it's not okay to try and set me off to do it on purpose. That's not cool. And, that really defined for me very quickly who were the people I wanted to have around in my life and who were the people that I was going to be done with real quick. Mm. Sorry, kind of got off subject there,
But I will say these are very important life lessons. I mean, it wouldn't be a Roll for Hero episode if we didn't learn anything out of this.
If we didn't get deep in there somewhere.
I mean, the Monsters episode was deep enough as it was. So what kind of clothing style are you going for your character?
What style?
What kind of clothing style are you going for your character?
I am going like layered sweatshirt belted in with like a vest, but I'm putting like a bird beak kind of motif on the sweatshirt thing. Because I want her to be able to have a hood that she can pull up to try and cover her head. Right. But then like I want her arms free because I want like when she really lets it go at night, I want to give her like thick feathers on her shoulders and her forearms. And then I'm thinking like some bracelets or bangles or something on her wrist.
All right, now I'm really trying to figure this out, how to like design this character, because once it was like putting it in the same cyberpunk universe as as like I guess I would even go as far as even like my character, or at least my take on the American Eagle, but like with yours, it definitely fits with yours. I'm trying to figure out like what I can do with this. Like I really don't know. Like I'm trying to go for like trendy, like a Letterman jacket kind of a thing that she probably found. It was like a bright yellow Letterman jacket, and she's like, "Oh my god, this is so me," or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me about how I designed my character. I have this character called Honeybee, and this character is the skin the design of that character is going to be like the Malice suit. so like there's the Invisible Woman, then there's her Malice suit. So then for me, Honeybee in my Unbeatables comic has a Malice kind of concept, but you know, it's a work in progress. I could, you know what? Maybe let me see if I can apply that over here to an extent. Let me see.
Artist Shepard suggested energy suits, a light suit and a shadow suit. Oh, that's an idea right there.
That it is indeed.
Okay, now see, why are you gonna go make me completely rethinking what I'm doing all of a sudden? Jordan asks, could they talk to birds? And Commander Comics says a bowling jacket. That's a neat idea. That is actually.
Let me take a gander at that. Probably the same thing of what I have envisioned here. Oh my god! And then like, okay, turns out she's part of the school's bowling team or whatever, or like maybe it was her high school bowling team.
Oh, that could be her jock thing. Like that could be.
Yeah.
That could be it, which is so random. Like, oh, I love that.
Funnily enough, there was a bowling team in my school.
What is up, Blue Ponds? Long time no see.
Hey, howdy, how you doing today?
We were just on a show this morning together, playing through the Path of the Pale Rider Choose Your Own Adventure game or book with Lori Calcaterra over on her show. We were both kind of surprised when we saw each other on there. It's like, oh, hey, I know you.
Hello. That's probably up. Yeah, not that. Let me check on here because I'm catching Discord notifications. And anyways, okay, I'm thinking. Okay, I can totally see her wearing like a crop top, not the glasses. I'm not even digging her hairstyle. I just kind of have it there as default, and the vibes are not vibing correctly. But I'm gonna focus at least on her clothing design, so then at least I have something. I could totally see her being super sporty or something like that, to an extent. So, because I like the idea of her wearing like a super puffy jacket.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. So maybe it's kind of like how it's. Double check over here because I'm using it as a reference. Okay, so actually it has it skinnier. Maybe, you know what? Should probably do like that and then have it cut off over here because it has like a little tight grip, kind of like my wristbands over here. I'm looking at one reference and it's kind of interesting. So then I'm just gonna do that, like a little bit of a wrinkle effect. Okay. So she's wearing, like, I think for her, she's like given she's the adventure seeker or something like that, she gives absolute like no, like she does not care at all. Like if she could, she would try to make being a superhero like her personality, or like being like an online presence type of thing, like Booster Gold almost.
Yeah.
But very bird centric. Maybe their school was based off of an eagle, hence maybe why she would be, you know, like, I guess that would actually fit. Like if there's an icon that she would have on her school's jacket or something like that. That could work. And then, yeah, so she has a little crop top on. And then maybe would have like a little charm or something like that. On necklace related. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Let me fix that. Let me fix this. The vibe is here, but it's not vibing enough. The groove has been thrown off, everybody. I'm gonna say it at that. Oh boy. Let me see what we got. All right. Because I like the idea that she has like short hair. That could be very cutesy style. Maybe this could be like her little bangs up in the front, and maybe has something a little bit big. Oh, that's too big. Okay. Wait, working on it. The vibe is here. We're getting it. There we are. Okay, think I kind of got it. I feel like there's something else I need to add on to this. All right, so this is like a cyber. That's suburban. So could it be cyberpunk suburban? Never know. What do you think, Mr. Fish?
I think it's looking cool. I'm playing around with that idea of an energy costume. It's spurred some ideas in me, and I'm wanting to play around with it and see if I can come up with something cool, or if I'm just like, I don't want to just do Raven, and that's my first thought. Is like she ends up looking like Raven, and I don't want to do that. Lou says, "Choose Your Own Adventure was hilarious." It absolutely was. I could do more of those. We ended up doing almost the exact same thing in the Choose Your Own Adventure. Deadpool says, "Cy Bourbon." That's funny. I like that.
Since we're part of the day, maybe short hair, morning dove style, like our shepherd mentioned. Ooh. Okay. I'm digging it.
Whoops.
Now, what do you mean by energy costume? Is it kind of like almost like a light-based, like Venom, almost?
Yeah, I'm thinking like mine would be like made out of darkness and shadow, or like you were talking about yours, like growing with the light-based form. Like mine being the darker it gets, this my clothes just transform into this shadow form, and then all of a sudden I've got this cool looking costume on, and
that could fit into the bird aesthetic of the characters.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like that could give a cool, clean, like spandexy type look, and still hit all the things I'd like to hit, all the feelings and vibes on the costume I'd like to hit. I don't know.
This one is a stopper. Ooh, okay, interesting.
I really like her in the clothes, but I like that.
I kind of liked it too because it kind of gave off that cyberpunk edge to it a little bit.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think that's what I'm going to go with for now.
Or again, maybe that concept of like the light and the shadow could actually play. I don't know. I'm just chucking ideas out here. But okay, so now the question is, what do I give my character here? I gave her pointed ears. She doesn't necessarily. I mean, does yours have pointed ears or no?
I think I'm going to go pointed ears. But I'm also thinking that probably most of it's going to be covered by her hair.
True. But then also, like, so just for confirmation, just so that I'm not always like repeating anything or kind of putting it, shoving ideas out there and making it canon, where is this setting located? Like, yes, it's suburban. Suburbia, that I do know. But is it like set in the cyberpunk American Eagle universe? Is this in, like our modern day type situation? Because I feel that's like one other factor that has to come into play here.
I think I don't see a problem with it being in the cyberpunk world, because I mean there's still going to be suburbs, and I mean maybe those suburbs are still in a high-rise building somewhere, I don't know, but there's still going to be like, outside of the city center, there's still going to be bored kids, looking for stuff to get into. I think there's still lots of room in there for lots of interesting stuff to happen.
Okay. Because that actually helps me out a lot in terms of like getting to design the costume. Because again, I really need to dive into like, I guess, the cyberpunk vibe, if you will. Because I don't think I went cyberpunk enough. I went too clean cut. Like, if I'm going to do cyberpunk, I want to see if I can do it correctly, or at least, like, get the actual punk aesthetic. But this one's like a character where it's very bright, very, it's like the opposite of like cyberpunk, which is usually like something like dark. So, trying to see what I can go with here. Because I was thinking maybe giving her like headphones and like some glasses, as you can probably see on my screen, where we can kind of play off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe kind of going full. Nah, probably not. Who knows? Who knows? This is the interesting parts of it. I just look too young. Okay, so we got that over there. Do I want that aesthetic for her? I don't know. I'm so stuck on this. I just need some like bird-like element here. Okay. I just gotta get a quick reference of how you're kind of keeping up with yours over here. I thought, or Dragon Gaming said something interesting. How about Los Angeles? Because angels have bird-like wings.
That's cool, idea.
Right, nifty. We should just call this little team here, set in this little cyberpunk world, just call it the Avian Force. Or Birds of a Feather.
It's funny how we just kind of randomly ended up with
another bird
themed character.
It's funny because I remember somebody last time when we did the American Eagle one, somebody mentioned how my rendition of the character looked like Jetman, the Super Sentai kind of character, and that was like a whole unintentional kind of a thing there. And little did I know that it's like, or what's it called? When they mentioned Jetman, it was funny because that was made in like 1991, and then a couple years, or I think the year after, or a couple years later, that's when they came out with the Ranger concept for, what we used for the 90s for the Power Rangers, which was the like Zoo Ranger or something like that. And it originally, Jetman was the first like bird theme to kind of get it back into action, and then after that was dinosaurs. And imagine if like Saban actually bought the rights to use like the Jetman concept, we would have had birds as potential first rangers rather than dinosaurs.
That
would have been a crazy reality to live in. Energy projection, right? So let's just see if we can continue to add on to a cyberpunk edge. What if they knew like some tech guy in their college that that like knows how to create like little knick-knack and inventions and whatnot that can help them out.
Oh yeah, that would
And then
be great.
gives them the excuse to have a little bit of some high-tech advanced things on them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm thinking like for my character, since she has radiant powers and like her powers come from like, you know, more of the direct sunlight, it could be tied into that. And like, you know, the guy's able to figure out, oh, your light like radiation can actually assist you in your flight abilities and stuff like that, which grants her maybe like to project the energy and like focus it from, you know, maybe like her heart, and then convert the energy going downward to her feet, allowing her to fly up or whatnot. And then maybe being able to create energy based, you know, projections or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm really trying to think here, man. I can't tell if I want to go for the glasses bit or not, because there's like literally nothing else bird related other than her feet, and I'm kind of annoyed at that. Which maybe that could be a good implementation to her design, because she looks probably more human than avian, you know. So that's something I have yet to take into consideration. But I have got that is very neato burrito. So we got that. What kind of a food do you think your character enjoys eating?
Oh, you know, small rodents. I'm thinking tacos.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Thinking like, since it's tacos, I want to say taquitos, just to kind of make it similar but different. It's like, stop copying me. Listen, they're taquitos. They're very different. They're both items covered in a tortilla-like thing with meat inside of it. You are clearly having a taco, but I'm having the superior one. It's like, I never asked for your suggestion. I just wanted taquitos. It's not my fault gas stations have really good taquitos. I say that as I work at a gas station.
Or like tacos and burritos are pretty similar. I mean, depending on how you make them, I suppose.
True. You know, funnily enough,
But
in
when we do it, it's usually like you can make whichever one you want, whichever one you feel like, out of the toppings that we have here. I was really surprised, and I don't know if it's just a Texas thing or what, but when we went through Texas, we were looking for some place to stop for dinner, and we stopped at Dairy Queen, which, you know, I've been to Dairy Queen before, but the Dairy Queen in Texas had tacos, and so we all decided to try them and get tacos. They were honestly some of the best tacos I've ever freaking had. And everybody in the car loved them. We were all going on and on and on about how great they were. And then my wife got terribly sick.
oh no, not
I
the
don't
poison of the
really
tacos.
blame the tacos per se. She's got a lot of food allergies, as do I. So there may have well been like too much paprika or something in there that helped make her sick. And she'd been in the back seat of the car for hours, which she doesn't usually ever ride in the back seat. So I think that combination of things led to her getting so sick. But yeah, it was really miserable for her. And even more miserable because we couldn't quit talking about how good the tacos were, but they were really good.
Okay, I think I have some semblance of a design here, which is fine. I can go off of this. There we go. Make it a little easier on myself, just to kind of take out what I don't need. Although I do like the idea that she needs to have these little knee pads. There we go.
I could totally see doing a book about these girls. Of course, that's my problem with every character we come up with.
It's because it's like it's the dopamine hit of like, oh my gosh, they are so fun. But let's just actually like come up with something here.
It's the fun of getting to make something new and not the drudgery of having to actually finish a project.
Exactly.
And
that's why the ideas of number ones of anything else is always so intriguing.
and that's the curse of most creators is we get halfway through a book and then get an idea for something new and want to go chase that instead of finish what we started. And then you got a whole bunch of parts of things or number ones of things and no number twos. That is my biggest advice for all new creators when they ask me and they're all like, "Oh, I got all these ideas and I want to make this big connected cinematic universe like Marvel." And but like, dude, just tell one story and tell it well. Tell it beginning to end. Start something and finish something. And even if it's just an arc, get something done and finished because there's way too many people out there that have started a dozen different things and never finished any of them. That's way too easy of a club to join. Join the club full of people that actually finished it. And I got to keep reminding myself of that all the time too, because I want to jump off on every new idea I get.
Like always chasing that new high.
Mm-hmm. And I don't mean it to be negative, but there are definitely like I've got a list of creators that I admire that I want to be like, and I want to do the things they're doing. Not I want to rip them off. I want to copy them. But I want to be able to say I did and accomplish the same things they did. And then there are some creators out there that are absolutely on my I don't want to be like them list. And is not trying to be mean, but like I don't want to be the guy that started a bunch of things and never finished anything. That's why it was so important for me to, even though it might not have been some people might have thought it wasn't the smartest move at the time to do the 4th issue of Green Zone when I did it, but I needed to be sure that I got that first 4-issue arc done, because it would be far too easy to go on to Alice, which is my new main series going forward, and just do that because that was the fun new thing and not finish it. And I just couldn't. I cannot be that guy that didn't finish something he started. Let's see. Comments. Dragon Gaming says, what if their vow is like a religious prayer to praise the sun that helps her become more determined and find resolve while wearing a necklace similar to a cross? And Jordan says maybe they could combine their powers and create a giant energy construct of a bird and it would become their secret weapon. That's kind of a neat idea if they had if they could both spend like all of their power in that short little twilight time at dawn and dusk to be able to combine their powers, that would be cool.
That would make them more smart and tactical on how to like operate their abilities and whatnot. It's like we only have like one small shot at this, and then like do or die. If it doesn't happen, they're kind of screwed at that moment. So that's a very interesting thing to explore.
R.S. Shepard says Uncle E's colors baby blue, white and gold, and Fish's colors should be purple, black, and silver. Commander Comic says, same for me. I made a Muppet themed comic book and I crawled it and just forgot to finish it. Yeah, it happens. I got a lot of started things that didn't get finished. What if they made sounds whenever they get scared? Don't we all? But yeah, that would be a fun way to include a little bit more of the bird theme.
And then like the American Eagle is just like, do you guys need to keep acting like birds? It's in our nature. It's like, we don't see you acting like an eagle. Yeah, that's because I based it off one.
It's just in name, because of the buoyancy of eagles.
I honestly would love to do another shot at that one again. Doing like
my god, the buoyancy.
Do another public domain redesign for next week. I wouldn't mind that because that was very interesting. And again, we created a very interesting character out of those. I mean, like had it not been for the public domain thing, we wouldn't be able to set it in the world where he is in.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just kind of adding these little effects or wrinkles, or I don't know what they're called, but we're going to call it something other than that. I don't know. Man, the recap for this one's going to be very strange. When we do a little roll for hero recap.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I got to learn how to draw your character, and you got to learn how to draw my character. We got to draw them doing something like dynamically crazy or something, insane.
That's something I thought we could do at some point too that might be fun, would be to do like a redesign or our own interpretation of each other's characters.
Oh, so like in one episode we'll take you get my character, I get your character, and then we just kind of swap it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And like see what we would have done with some of those same prompts and ideas, and how might we change this, that, or the other. What would we have done with the costume, or kind of like you would do with a public domain redesign, or redesigning like a Marvel or DC character, but with the characters that we've already come up with.
Ooh,
that could be a fun one.
That is true, but I will say the majority of the first few, I will say, since we started this whole series, have been the same because we just took the same powers and we just kind of went with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were just kind of like, well, I mean, this is because the whole point of it really was to see how two different artists took the same powers, but then took it to a different scale. And then because again, I went a completely different route and you went on a vastly different route. So that was like, I guess, the original point. But now we're just going balls to the walls. We're just going insane. Really got to enjoy it for what it's worth here. I can totally see this having like some kind of a little comedic value to it. Like maybe their college buddy actually has a crush on one of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's like I made these for you guys for your bird powers and stuff.
Like what I was thinking was like he would have a crush on your character and my character has a crush on him. And
like, no,
he's like, I'm not really into the big muscular sporty type. I'm much more into the more, and saying all kinds of things to really try not to say he's into the pretty girly girl type, and not the
but threw it up.
big as him goth type.
But later on throughout the series, it turns out he's actually such a sucker for, the goth one, because like, wow, I didn't realize I was actually into this. Took one date and then almost a trial and like almost him dying to realize like, wow, I never knew that I was into this. I have so many
questions. She's so hurt and stuff that it would be like, I don't know. I don't want to fool with you. I think it could be a lot of fun. All right, let's see.
What if it turns out? Oh, wait. Okay. Throwing this out here. What if it turns out the same organization that took down your character was the same organization the American Eagle in your universe was actually like associated with because of his father working for that agency or for that, organization?
Oh.
Which could tie in to everything because, again, learning the buoyancy of an eagle. Our characters are bird associated. They would actually have association with the character.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever. That could be like her parents could have died in experiments from that company because they were, trying to figure out their powers and how to use it for their own goals and whatnot. That could be really cool.
And only then to realize that it's like a whole different dynamic. So the American Eagle and these two are completely tied together. Look at us figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm actually just going to add this little bit over here to make it look like a bowling jacket. And I think that would actually be the funniest idea. Like once I draw her in a cool dynamic pose or whatever, that she'll like her energy projection looks like throwing bowling balls. So she'd be like, take that. And she'll actually do like the whole, like, if it was an anime, it would be a super dynamic shot of it.
You would use what you know. And, if that's the kind of motions and stuff that she practices all the time, like I could totally see strikes and spares and things, becoming part of her move set to use her powers,
Or like maybe there was an instance in where she doesn't really know what to do, but she has like a final shot to do something. And then like your character being like, yo, bird brain, how about you actually like roll up? How about you hit a 7-10? And she's like, wait a minute, 7-10, like kind of using those bowling tactics.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Oh, look at that. We're already tying things together here. Loving it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. I think I got an idea down. I have yet to get to the colors, but it's a simple costume, but I feel like if you're going to draw it out as a comic, you want simple. That's something else that I had to learn how to like, something I have to keep in mind. If it's too simple, don't be afraid of it. Listen, Spider-Man's costume is simple, but it's not too simple, Like a simple costume would be like the Flash. The Flash's costume is super, super simple.
Yeah.
But that plays such a huge benefit to him because of the fact that he is literally all red. But, that also leaves room to showing off muscle dynamics or, maybe playing it to some comedic nature to it,
Mm-hmm.
Never be afraid of being too simple. Sometimes it might be the reason, it might be the way to go, and you don't even know it. Now, now I gotta go check out the comments because one of y'all suggested that I make the character suits baby blue, white, and gold. Okay. It's like almost incorporating the idea that the baby blue is like the sky, the white, and the gold is like the sunshine and such.
Mm-hmm.
So So we got that over here. Maybe it's against a Letterman jacket that I'm kind of going for. Kind of play off with this idea a little bit. And then we kind of put yellow here, yellow there. Yellow has just been weirdly enough like the color that has defined my company and myself. And the funny part is that red is my favorite color.
The yellow does look nice, man. The yellow and black logo, that pops so quickly. And
It does. Because, like, look, if Marvel is red, DC is blue, I gotta be the one in between. I gotta be the yellow. Now, am I gonna be the next Marvel DC? I don't know. Am I gonna be any of those? Who knows? I am to not dictate such craziness in my livelihood.
I've always liked the way that pops as a logo. It's a great design.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm not jealous at all. You're jealous.
Hey, you got yourself on your own books. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's not a sense of a proof of identity right there, you know, somebody tries stealing your comics and you're just like, well, how do you know you made it? I'm on the book cover.
I tried for years to come up with a cool, like, skeleton fish design to use as my logo. I've been trying since high school to come up with a design that I liked, and I have never been able to hit on one that I really truly liked. And I've done a few, and I've got like my chair for my drums has this skeleton fish spray painted on the back of it, just so people couldn't try running off with my chair and pretend it was theirs, which people have tried to do before. And like I was saying earlier before the show, I'm so tall, finding stuff that fits me to start with is tough. So when I found that chair that worked, I was not splitting that with anybody. So I painted a big skeleton fish on the back of it. But anyway, never could find something I liked. I was trying to come up with something for Mr. Fish Comics to have this big skeleton fish, and I couldn't figure it out. And then finally, I just jokingly stuck myself in there for the logo for my first Patreon comics that I was sending out. And it was only supposed to be the logo for like the Patreon only ones, and I was going to come up with something better, and that was going to be the secret logo for the Patreon subscribers. And I just never came up with anything else, and so I've just kept using it.
Oh my lord!
Oddly enough,
Go the more mutated route on this one.
Dragon Gaming says it'd be hilarious if they both have a crush on the American Eagle. That could be good drama too. Or what if the American Eagle ended up being the kid that was helping them with their tech, and it ends up getting powers himself, and that adds a whole Dawn and Nora for names from old Joe, tossing out some good old names. Those some solid names, son. Commander
Look at our nieces
my
and nephews
comics.
being all creative. How dare they
But I
have
wanna
better
start
ideas than
with
we
really
do.
mini comics. I 100% agree with that idea, Commander Comic. Mini comics are fun. They're easy. They're quick. You can knock them out and have something accomplished, and know if you want to take it further. I really like the mini comic idea a lot.
I really gotta. If there is one series of videos I should bring back, and I mean, Mr. Fish has been advocating it for the longest time, I should bring back my Mini Comic Monday series, because I do enjoy those, but obviously that's still making comics, which does take a bit of time. I mean, as creators of comics, they do take time, and I'm never against that, because honestly, I love the idea of coming up with like all these little stories. Probably it gets that little dopamine hit of like, oh yay, I get to finally create like a little crazy comic idea, and you know, I'll leave it there, and then if I ever want to touch upon it, and then maybe I can, or ditch it, or whatever it is I want to do, who knows. But it's like, the thoughts are like, the imagination station there is just, oh, it's so good. Love it though.
Yeah, if I had it to do all over again, I really think I would just, if I was starting over from scratch right now, I would just start doing black and white mini comics, and because that's what I wanted to do in the beginning. And then, like I've probably said on here before, then for like the trades, I could color them, and that would be a whole extra thing to make, buying the trade worthwhile if you've already supported and bought the books, up until now. You are getting extra stuff. You're getting something for your money. And I and it would be so much easier and quicker and faster to get books done, and then see what I like, see what the fans like, see what takes off, without having to spend quite as much time on it as the color takes. And I would 100% go that route. I could produce them myself at home cheaper rather than having to buy them offset printed or whatever to make them cheap enough. There's just so many reasons that makes that easier, that I would 100% go that route if I was starting over today.
I'm really trying to stick with that blue color. I don't know if I'm making it work or not. Because I kind of like the yellow color overall. Yeah, I tried. Kind of digging it. Kind of digging it. Kind of digging it. Like a shovel. There we go. I think the white might have to be the best choice here, just because it's simple. Let's give her some little red lips here, because why not?
Red lips, fingertips.
All right. So we kind of got something over here. I'm liking it. It's actually pretty solid. I think this feels cyberpunkish enough, but not too much. So, because like I'm kind of going for like a strange, adventurous rebel kind of character with my little rendition here.
Yeah, let's do this color.
And boom. This. And then let's take that, make these both white, and then we do a Gaussian blur, giving it like a radiant, like ethereal yellow glow. There we go. Or better yet, what if I did? I think this would fit. I guess when I think of sun, I think of the color yellow, because this kind of fits. The yellow color for me is kind of working more. I wanted to incorporate the baby blue as best as I could. Just didn't know really how to. I feel like this is a weirdly well proportioned out character. You know what I mean? You know what they are? I think this is like our rendition of Hawk and Dove. Just now I think I'm like, oh, this is just our Hawk and Dove, except, it's just different.
I could see that. I'm going to take in the airbrush. Then I'm going to applying the shadows here and there. You see.
All right, and there is at least the rough concept of it. I mean, if I was to stick around furthermore, should I actually create the actual cover? Probably not. That'd be too much work. But I kind of like where this is at right now. This is actually, I like to think this is a pretty good, like, you know what, maybe just to kind of add.
I'm really liking this character the more I'm playing with her. I might would change her outfit a little bit, but I am really, really liking her. I feel like she looks just a hair too much like Kaw. Almost looks like his like goth little cousin. But, oh my god!
There we
Oh
go.
my god! If that's the world they came from, that would be freaking hilarious.
They're the last species of the mighty call, the Cro-Magnon.
Because there's so many bird species from that world. Like any bird has evolved into a human like version, and like there's owls and there's sparrows and falcons and thunderbirds and all kinds of stuff. Like they could absolutely be an avian species from there, and from Zion, and they could be living here on Earth. And oh my god, that would be so epic. That would be so epic.
Who'd have thought the Mighty Crows universe expanded furthermore into the realms of superheroes? As we have the American Eagle, and then now we have these two. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Oh, that is too cool of an idea. I love that idea so much.
All right, I think I'm actually kind of set on this for now, just because I feel like if I tamper any more with it, I'm probably going to end up making an entirely different design. I feel like it's cyberpunkish enough, but also it still has that sleek bird-like quality to her. So I think I'm going to kind of end it on this note here. Actually, well, probably not. You know what? Maybe just do some slight little colorations here and there. But I feel like personally, I've got to for her. Come again?
I really like this design for her so much.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad these came out the way that they did. It was very, very, very unique. I mean, again, I never would have thought to ever make characters of these. There's also the reason why I love doing this channel or this show in general, just because, again, it really breaks us out of like what we think we know we can make, and it forces us to do something entirely different. You know, like getting to design, like I never thought I would design, you know, like, because yes, I have designed, you know, heroes based off of birds and animals and stuff like that, but to take it a different route and put it in the cyberpunk setting and all that other kind of stuff, like really gives it that extra flair that really like makes it its own thing, which again, I love, you know, the fact that we were able to play with the ideas and actually get, you know, what we have here. Only in Roll for Hero will our, you know, will we really break out of our comfort zones, and we'll actually design characters that actually, like, little do we know, we had such great ideas for, but we never knew how to like dive into those ideas.
Let's see. Dadpool says, I really love the hair design of Mr. Fish's character. Thank you. I really like it too. It was his horned owl idea that really got me started on it, and then also him and somebody else in the comments mentioning like if one had black hair and one had white, and then I thought, what if I did like a choppy goth cut that was black and white, and then I was off to the races with that. Let's see. Dragon Gaming says, I like both you guys' designs. One looks like a cyberpunk rebel athlete and a simply strong goth.
And we love them all.
And Doggone Comics says, howdy, y'all, I'm back. What did I miss? Man, you missed so much. You missed so many shots of the top of my head while I was drawing. We have designed up two sisters. his character is part of the family of this alien race that we may have just decided that they came from the world that the mighty Kaw comes from, of my book, and they're from that alien race where many bird species have evolved into human-like versions, and his character has landed here. Her family was doing fine. My family was hiding as well in plain sight, and nobody really knew. And then my family got killed, and his family adopted my character, and they had to go through all those tough teen years together, and lots of drama and coolness ensuing. And but his powers are more based around the sun and gets more powerful during the day, where my character gets more powerful during the night, and her powers are all like shadow based and everything. um Deadpool said, "Did y'all settle on a name?"
No.
I named my file Nora Night Owl because we were talking about Early Bird and Night Owl, and I just thought that was funny, and I liked the Dawn and Nora name ideas. So that's what I'm going with for now. I don't know though. I'm open to ideas. I'm open to.
I actually had this funny little idea because of how much my character looks like she's centered around lemons. Because I don't know why lemon is the first thing I thought of. Because the white in her eyes, the color in general. I would call her Lemon Wing. I don't know why that was like a random little name that popped up. But it was like, oh, Lemon Wing. Pending name, but it's still a name.
That sounds,
I also decided
you know
to make
what that sounds like to me? That sounds
know.
to me like the idea for the name that she came up with for herself, and then everybody else is like, "Oh,
No.
sweetie, oh, sweetie, no, you
my sweet
let's
summer child.
come up with something better." But I also kind of like the idea of like, I think like if we were really superheroes, I think you would probably pick like a really cool name that you want to be your name, and then you would go out and you would start saving the day, and then the media would assign you a name, and people would start calling you something on the street, and you'd be like, "Oh no, citizens, my name is," and they'd be like, "Yeah, right, you're Spider, homie. I know that." Like, "No, I'm actually the Amazing Spider-Man." "Oh, amazing! What makes you amazing?" "Man, you're Spider, homie. I know it was on the news the other day. Everybody around here knows you're Spider, homie." Like,
Actually, funny that you mentioned that. It's really interesting how you mentioned that because in my comic of the Unbeatables, I actually wanted to give like my character Powerful that same vibe of like being hated by the media because he's an unregistered like superhero, because that's how you become like a hero as a full-time gig. And because his color scheme is literally like just one color off of just being purely black and white, he's simply called the Monochrome Menace. Like the media, I was like, the Monochrome Menace is out and again doing his usual thing of being a public disturbance to those around him. And he's just like, it's powerful. It's powerful. How are you not knowing the name here, guys?
Commander Comic had a cool idea. So, will the next roll for hero, can we the viewers draw what you roll for us? That's a cool idea. Yeah, like we would roll it up, and then they would draw what we rolled rather than getting to roll up their own thing. Which, I mean, you could absolutely always do as well too. I would love to see what ideas y'all came up with for this crazy combination of stuff we came up with today. But also, like, a lot of this wouldn't have even happened without the great suggestions and ideas from all of y'all kicking out all kinds of ideas like siblings and things like that spurred this whole idea. And I love the whole adoption aspect because that lets us be very similar and yet very different at the same time. And I really dig that.
And then also, I was going to say too, the reason why I decided to change it up a little bit. So I made her like a light skinned girl. So instead I wanted to make her a little darker because if she's very sun based, I would assume she would get a tan. So that's why I decided to do at least what I ended up doing for this rendition of her design.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, giving her
You
that
guys
tan.
should definitely redesign each other's characters, said Jordan. That would be fun. That would be fun to do. On that logic, I'm wondering if I shouldn't just lighten her skin color See
Actually,
what
let me
that
do-
looks like. Because I went a little darker on her, thinking shadows, thinking blending into the shadows and stuff. But now I'm curious.
because that could give her like a ghostly, pale, shadow-like thing, kind of like using the Batman effect of putting fear and instilling fear into people. I feel like in her case, she tried to instill that same level of fear. It's like Batman and the Signal, weirdly enough. You know, Signal from DC Comics being like the Batman of the day, but then you have, you know, Bruce Wayne, who's, you know, the Batman, the Dark Knight, that kind of whole thing. So it's like getting to play up on those dynamics a little bit.
And if I really lean into the pale, then I can. That also plays up the goth as well.
Exactly. So look at that. We're like two birds, one stone here. Pun unintended. The Medusa character uses a stone to try to knock out the two bird siblings, so then that phrase comes to life.
Okay, that's not bad. I just need to change.
Oh, that is okay. But then no, here's the thing. I feel like we're gonna be either redesigning or trying to take the character and putting it in our style when we do the Roll for Hero recap, where like essentially Mr. Fitch does his rendition of a cover that would have, you know, my character in it, as my cover would have his character in it, and then having to make this whole thing about it, you know? Maybe, if anything, we should do like probably the next Roll for Hero. We should still keep it in this setting, but create more villains within the cyberpunk world in a way. So then that way we actually have like something to work off of. Or again, we can just kind of keep it off as just doing something else, you know? But I like the idea of adding more to it.
Yeah. I mean, and I like the idea of now that we've got more characters that are fitting into the same world. I like the idea of trying to come up with more characters to fit in around them. And that's a cool idea. Oh, Dragon Gaming also suggests spooky Halloween characters next week for Halloween. That's a really good idea.
It would be November by then, but I could see the appeal to it. No way, would it be?
Oh, will it be November already by then? Oh man,
Maybe not the calendar in the off chance.
Oh no, 29th. It'll be 2 days before Halloween.
Then, yeah. Oh, 100%. We'll find, if anything, we'll find like a classic, you know, if anything, we'll roll up a classic movie monster. And then like either the classic Universal movie monsters or the one based off literature. And then we can just go off on it and then just do our own renditions. Have it either set in the classic Gothic era, maybe a more fantastical rendition of it, or maybe have it set in the modern day where it turns out Dracula is nothing more than, you know, the homeowner association, you know, leader. Or, you know, maybe Frankenstein the doctor is simply trying to start up a family. And he just has a really sadistic method of doing so.
Oh man, that is an idea right there. Oh man, that's an idea. Oh man.
But again, we have to let the dice dictate what we do, or we can actually take control of what we create and actually make it our own. Who knows? But again, that's the whole point of Roll for Hero, where we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we are always drawing in these sessions. It's actually what, like, I'm so glad I was able to come up with a fun little tagline for this show, just because it's, you know, easier to kind of say.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I can say it very rapid fire. You know, it's like, welcome to Roll for Hero, the show where we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we are going to be drawing today. Like going off of that whole rambling thing, because, you know, I got to ramble. You know, you can't, if you can't let a Hispanic man ramble, are you really letting him live?
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm kind of digging this. I'm really, really liking this a lot. I was not expecting to like this as much as I.
Oh yeah, this came out so good. Yeah, I'm happy.
I think something else I might add on to this as of right now is probably like a little stripe, like an inverted stripe. It's like at the bottom over here, it's mostly white with a yellow stripe in the middle. But then at the sleeves, it's yellow with a white stripe in the middle. Kind of playing up on that little on that whole thing there. Oh man, I'm really liking this. Okay.
Got a bunch of comments.
Oh no! Incoming call from mi madre.
Do a Halloween monster mashup next week. Mash up two monsters together into hybrids. A monster mashup where you fuse different classic monsters. Mummy meets Hyde. Wolfenstein. Now there's an idea out yonder. Creature from the Black Lagoon meets the Blob. Oh man. You can name him Marsh or Bog.
What did I do? What did I miss?
They're talking about doing mashups between classic monsters like the Mummy meets Hyde or Wolfenstein or the Creature from the Black Lagoon meets the Blob. You can name him Marsh or Bog.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I am glad that I was able to post a video for this month because I know I've been lacking on that, and that is very, very much on me. But I actually, yeah, 100%. So I actually made this video of creating my own creature commandos, and in it, because it turns out the Creature from the Black Lagoon I think is not public domain. I believe that is a full-blown Universal movie production. I had to find like a stand-in for that character. So I'm like, man, what am I going to look at? So I look up, amphibious or like either, aquatic cryptids and whatnot. And one of them that stood out to me because this was very funny, and I mentioned in the video, is the Ohio Loveland Frogman.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I'm going to Loveland, Ohio for Thanksgiving. I just thought that was really like on. Like that was way too coincidental for me to not use it. So he was like my and I ended up making him look like a weird action-packed Kermit the Frog or something. You know what? I have it here. Let me find him. Where is he at?
There's a lizard man too. Cryptid. I don't remember where it's from. I don't think it's from Arkansas, but I think it's close by.
Found it.
There you go.
The Legion of Mercenary Monsters. So, of course, we have Frankenstein's monster on the bottom there being the full-blown muscle of the group. Then we have the son of Dracula, Victor, as well as the Invisible Man, Isaac. And we happen to have... Did I ever get that guy a name? Did I? Because I drew him here. Hopper, the Loveland, Ohio, Frogman. And then the main person like behind him is actually Calcora. She was part of my original public domain Suicide Squad team. So, kind of getting to fit in the mummy aesthetic with all the rest of these Halloween monsters and whatnot was actually a lot of fun. And this was a fun cover to put together. And it was actually the first time I did a whole like public domain video without designing the characters individually, then getting to the big thing of it all. But, it is what it is there.
Well, that came out cool.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. But this came out far more intriguing. I wasn't expecting.
Oh, I think your sound dropped out for a second there. I can't hear you. I'm hearing. Oh, wait a minute. I was saying I'm hearing the music, but I'm playing the music. Woo! Echo. Jug, 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 jug. I want to turn that off. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. Oh, wait a minute. I heard you. Hold on. Say something else. Oh. I wonder what happened. We were going so good with no echoes. We're doing so well for so long. Kermit, says Deadpool. R.S. Shepard said, Fish Collier's Blackbird, Uncle E. Canary. Hello, hello, hello. One moment while we have technical difficulties. That usually works. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Oh, this freaking gnat driving me nuts. I tell you, this is the season of the gnats this year. They've been every freaking where. Man. Well, anyway, while we wait for Yola to get back on here, everybody knows that. What is up, man? Good to see you. Mark the Shark. You know, you can find me at Mr. Fish Comics everywhere on the interwebs, anywhere you look on all the social medias. We got sound yet? Let's see. I can hear that.
All right, you guys can hear me? Yes, no, maybe
Yeah.
so.
Yes,
Oh,
we
hey,
can hear you.
beauteously. Thank the Lord. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't have literally no idea what has happened there. And also, we get crisp audio sounds, which we haven't
Oh,
had
yeah.
since we haven't had this since like the first episode of Roll for Hero.
The audio is crispy, baby.
Crispier than chips.
He's speaking in eldritch tongues. That's why we can't hear him. Yeah, that's it. That was the whole problem. Maybe Nat should be a bug-themed villain. Oh my gosh. Yeah, these
Ooh.
gnats are driving me nuts. They've been everywhere. All of our travels is just everywhere we go. I'm sick of them. Had enough of them. Ready for them to go.
I mean, oh, trust me, I understand completely. I mean, as a Floridian dealing with just, we are in a very humid environment, so having to deal with actual like bugs of all kind, it's so annoying because again, there's so much moisture in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me tell you.
It is everywhere. It is a prime environment for bugs to grow. That's the beauty of living in the South. Anyway, we've been at it for nearly 2.5 hours. So I think it's going to be time to start to get a mosey on here because I got to try and get some other work done because I got a book to finish. Printers.
It's actually a pretty good time for him too because what's it called? I think I have a call later on speaking to some realtors because, you know, adulting and trying to find a place to live. And speaking of, I'm going to end the video. I think we should probably end the video here, guys. So oh gosh, she's going to kill me for that. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to use the hashtag Roll for Hero, ROLL, the number 4 and HERO. Please, you know, use it on all your social media platforms and everything. But we're going to end this fun session here. So for everyone out there, make sure to follow these 3 simple rules to stay awesome, stay weird, and to keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. And always remember, your uncles love you, and stay ultra.
Roll for Hero!
You know, and even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. You know, the possibility of that happening is again like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like it shows that there's an infinite possibility.
Always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with because there's no end to the